Welcome Drawing 2, summer class. We're starting our first project, Color Abstraction from Nature. And so I wanted to just go over some of the parameters of the project. First of all, what is abstraction? It is simplifying down a form or shape. So as you can see, I've got an example here. This is an older drawing of mine, and it has this simplified tornado shape and a simplified face and a simplified hand and arm and a feather in the middle. That's one example of abstraction. So you're taking something from realistic, real life, a shape from nature. I'd like you guys to work from something from nature. Could be trees, could be flowers, could be microscopic amoebas, could be something from outer space, a constellation. That's completely up to you, free choice. I've got another example here of a nice abstraction of a ducky. So you can see in the top corner there, the realistic ducky. As it goes down to the bottom corner, it gets very, very simplified. And I've posted that on Blackboard for you. So the materials that we're going to be working with, I'd like you guys to work with soft pastels. I've got examples of pastel pencils, which look like this. And a nice brand that I found on Amazon is the Derwent. I'll post that on Blackboard for you. They're nice for getting detail work. And then the soft pastels that look like this, and they come in different brands. Rembrandt is a good brand. These are Winsor Newton. Sennelier is a good brand. There are quality brands and cheaper brands, and I recommend you steer away from the alpha color. Cheaper brands, they don't adhere to the paper very well, and the color is not very intense. It's kind of muted. So I'll post that on Blackboard for you. The paper I'd like you to work with is, you have two choices. One is the Canson colored pastel paper. It comes in different colors. They have a nice variety at the bookstore. That you can find them in the arts and crafts stores around town. They're easy to find, or even online from Amazon. And you'd select a color that would work well with whatever your subject matter is. And then the other choice is Reeves BFK 22 inch by 30 inch. They have it at bookstore at FCC for you. They also sell it at Colorful Canvas on East Street downtown. And that's a nice all-purpose drawing paper. It's a little larger than the Canson, so you can have a little more space, a little more impact with your drawing, and it works well with pastels. So, objectives for the class. Subject matter we've talked about is going to be abstract nature subject. The objectives are coming up with an interesting composition. So how you lay out your shapes, I would like you to use the whole page well, not have too many empty negative spaces. We know from drawing 1, positive space is your main subject matter, negative space is the background areas, and there should be a nice balance where you can see in this drawing there's just a little bit of quiet areas that balance out with the main focal point area. So you want to lay out your composition in an interesting way. Most of the slides that you're going to see in your PowerPoint that I loaded on Blackboard for you are zoom-in views, where you're taking something from nature and you're zooming in. That's one way to abstract it. Taking a complicated orchid and maybe zooming into just the middle of the orchid. So that's one objective I'd like you guys to think about, is a nice strong composition. Have your layout dynamic, have the positive negative space balanced. And then your second objective would be color choice. So we're working with colors of your choice. You don't have to match what you're drawing. So if you chose grasshoppers that are green and you'd rather do them in yellow, orange, and red, I have no problem with that. We're not having to stick to reality with the color. But you do want to think about 3 areas of balance: value, temperature, and contrast. So value is light to darks. We know that the lightest color on the wheel is yellow. The darker color is violet. We know that the middle values are the greens and the reds. And then we know that you're allowed to add white, black, or gray to any of your colors to lighten them or darken them. So you just want to think about a nice balance of lights and darks, just like you would do in a normal black and white drawing. Temperature is cool and warm. So the side of the wheel that shows the fire colors, yellows, oranges, and reds, we call those warm. They start from yellow, they go all the way up to red, violet. Cool colors would be all the way from yellow, green, to violet. And so you want to think about a nice balance of cool and warm. And then lastly is intensity or saturation. So you can see in my drawing that these are all pretty low saturated, low intensity colors. They're muted, they're softer earth colors. There's nothing that's really bright or garish that's competing for your attention, and so they're balanced out. On the other hand, you could be working with very pure colors. Just make sure that when you're using intense colors, if you're including some duller colors, balance them out. So you wouldn't want to, say, have this entire soft colored painting, drawing, and then throw in hot pink in one area. You want to balance it out. Color combination choices for you guys. That's completely up to you. In drawing one, you might have explored color chords, monochromatic, complementary, or analogous. If you'd like a roadmap and you'd like a recipe that's been tried and true and works in the art world, and very harmonious combination of colors would be complementary. So they're opposite each other on the wheel. Yellow and violet, orange and blue, red and green. And you can also use the secondaries and tertiaries. So you could choose red, orange, and blue, green is a nice combination. Or you could choose analogous colors, 3 to 4 colors that are next door neighbors on the wheel, so they're very harmonious. Usually people tend to stay with either the cool colors, the purples, blues, and greens, or the warm colors, the yellows, oranges, and reds. But you can see at the top of the wheel you get a little warm and a little cool if you go from yellow, green, all the way to orange. So that's completely your choice. You can work intuitively with the color. You can pick a color scheme and stick with it. You can work with whatever your image is that you're working from. You can work from photographs. You can work from images that you find online. You can work with actual nature objects that you find or have collected over the years. That's completely up to you. So project due date is 1 week from the start of class. So I put it on your syllabus as July 14th. And I'd like to see ideas and sketches before then, maybe by the end of the week. Please email me your ideas or your sketches and I can give you feedback on that. All right, thank you very much. Have fun.